यता फेसबुकबाट नि लाइभ जान मिलाइरहेका छौँ सर, त्यो मिल्दैछ अनि सुरु गरिहाल्छौँ नि सर।
हाम्रो भुवन म्याम बाँकी हुनुहुन्छ हैन जोइन हुनलाई?
भुवन म्यामले चाहिँ अब उता नेदरल्यान्डमा अलि ढिला पनि हुनसक्छ, म अगाडि भएन भने पनि म पछाडि टाइममा आउँछु भन्नुभएको छ भुवन म्यामले।
ए ओके ओके, त्यो त प्रब्लम भएन।
ए उहाँ नेदरल्यान्डमा हो अहिले?
हजुर हजुर। सुभाष सर स्क्रिन सेयर गर्नुहुन्छ त? सुरु गर्नु सुभाष सर।
स्क्रिनमा सबैजना नदेखेला भनेर मैले रोके, मैले ट्राई चाहिँ गरेँ, किन केही प्रब्लम आउँछ कि भनेर।
अब स्टार्ट गर्दा हुन्छ होला रवि भाइ, स्टार्ट गरौँ।
Ravi Shrestha, Secretary of Geomatic Engineering Society and an undergraduate student under the Department of Geomatic Engineering. For today's session, my dearest friend Pragya will accompany me as the co-host. As with the effort of Geomatic Engineering Society, which is a departmental club under the Department of Geomatic Engineering, we have brought a power-packed webinar titled Career Prospects of Geomatics, with the vision to explore the prospects of geomatics. No matter how much experienced you are, there is always a room for learning. Most of us among us, the participants, may not be still aware with the reach of geomatics yet. The career prospect of geomatics is not only limited within surveying only. So we Geomatic Engineering Society and Department of Geomatic Engineering have requested our own brothers and sisters, our alumni who have graduated as Geomatic Engineering from Kathmandu University, to explore and present the prospect of geomatic engineering in different fields. A big round of gratitude to our speakers for today, which will be introduced by Pragya shortly. Now I would like to thank Head of Department and Assistant Professor Dr. Subhash Gimire and the faculties Assistant Professor Dr. Resma Gimire, Assistant Professor Mr. Umma Shankar Pandey sir, Lecturer Mr. Pawan Thapa and Mr. Kushal Sharma, Teaching Assistant Mr. Sasank Karki, Mr. Basanta Awasthi, Mr. Dinesh Bhatta and Mr. Rupesh Bhandari, and administrative staff Mr. Govinda Umagai for accepting our invitation to this webinar. Besides to this, we also extend a big round of thankfulness to the representative from Land Management Training Center and President of Geomatic Engineering Society, Mr. Sudeep Kuikel, faculties from different departments of Kathmandu University, and President of GSAN, a departmental club of Department of Civil and Geomatic Engineering, TU IOE Paschimantachal campus, Mr. Gaurav Parajuli, and all the participants from GSAN, as well as all the geospatial enthusiasts who are with us today. Now I would like to request Ms. Pragya Pant to explain about today's schedule and introduce our keynote speaker. Pragya, over to you.
I am Pragya Pant, an executive member of Geomatics Engineering Society, an undergraduate student Department of Geomatics Engineering. Now, without any delay, I would like to introduce our keynote speakers. Our keynote speaker for today are Mr. entrepreneur and the co-founder of NASA, a geospatial service provider company, and executive director of Nepal Flying Labs. Our second speaker is Mr. Vishrant Adhikari. He is a GIS.
Yeah, it's muted.
Hello, Pragya.
I'm sorry. मेरो आवाज आइरहेको थिएन हो?
हजुर हजुर, अब सुरु गर्दा हुन्छ प्रज्ञा।
Hello everyone. I'm Pragya Pant, an executive member of Geomatics Engineering Society and an undergraduate student. Now, without any delay, I would like to introduce our keynote speakers. Our keynote speaker for today are Mr. Uttam Kurasemi. He is a tech entrepreneur and co-founder of NOXA, a geospatial service provider company, and executive director at Nepal Labs. Our second speaker for today is Mr. Vishrant Adhikari. He is GIS analyst and developer with more than 8 years of experience with desktop, mobile, and web GIS. The third speaker is Mr. Sarat Chandra Moinali. He is the president at Nepal Geomatics Engineering Society, NGES, and also the former president of Student Welfare Council, Kathmandu University. Our next speaker is Mr. Sangarsha Thapa. He has worked as the teaching assistant under the then Department of Civil and Geomatics Engineering, like surveying, geodesy, instructed UAV image processing, and GNSS data processing for 3 years. Our next speaker for today is Ms. Bhuvan Ranjit. She is an instructor at Survey Department at Land Management Training Center under Ministry of Land Management, Cooperatives and Poverty Alleviation of Government of Nepal from 2012. Our last speaker for today is Mr. Sital Dakal. He is Certified Geographic Information System Consultant with extensive experience in ACERIS, expertise, ArcGIS stack, and product architecture. Now, without any delay, I would like to give a description of today's program schedule. Department, Mr. Subhas Pimpile sir will be giving some overview and remarks about the department. After that, our club vice president, Mr. Yukish, will be introducing GS. Then we'll start our presenters presentation. At first, Mr. Will be giving presentation on career opportunities in geomatics. Mr. Vishrant Adik presentation on geospatial programming as your career. Mr. will be giving presentation on career of geomatics in government sector. Mr. Sangarsha will be giving presentation in changes in the way I do geomatics. Ms. Bhuvan Ranjit will be presenting on career prospects through remote sensing. I will be presenting on geomatics as a system of record and engagement. After all these presentations, we'll be having question and answer session. You can ask if you have any queries, and you can also put your queries in the chat box during the presentations. We'll try to address your queries. All of these presentations will be of around 15 minutes. At the end, the closing remarks will be given by...
You are muted, sir. Can you unmute yourself and proceed?
Thank you, Pragya. A very good morning and good evening and namaste, all keynote speakers, my colleagues at Kathmandu University, Department of Geomatics Engineering and LMTC, and professor from the Department of Science and Environment Science and Engineering, all participants, organizing team, GE alumni. So very good morning. And first of all, I would like to welcome all of you in this webinar, the career prospects in geomatics. I believe that this webinar becomes a good platform to share skills, knowledge, and experience on geomatics education or geomatics professional. So I would like to now give an overview of the department. So Department of Geomatics Engineering. Department of Geomatics Engineering is established on March 26, 2019. It is the youngest department of School of Engineering, and we have Diploma in Geomatics Engineering program started in 2015 and in collaboration with Kathmandu University, Land Management Training Center, and CTBT. Similarly, we have Bachelor in Geomatics Engineering started in 2007, Master in Land Administration started in 2013, MS in Geoinformatics started in 2019. And all of these programs are running in collaboration with Land Management Training Center under the framework of MOU. So we have 3 PhDs in our department. One is determination of Nepal from surface and airborne gravity, and it is in collaboration with Denmark Technical University and Kathmandu University. Monitoring rice cropland and yield estimation using multi-center, multi-templar dataset and citizen science approach, and it is in collaboration with University of Melbourne. Visiting Professor Jagannath Aryal is supervising this PhD, and Vijan Bhattakayastha from the Department of Environment Science and Engineering, and similarly responsible land governance for food security, analyzing from land use planning perspective, and both of the supervisors are from Kathmandu University. So we have two research projects currently running in our department. One is capacity building on IPR system at Kathmandu University, which is funded by SIDA, YPO, and PRB. And second project, that is GeoNode project funded by World Bank. So these are some of the projects we completed in our department. So I will not go in detail. If you have any query, we can discuss on the question answer session. So we have survey labs in our department, geospatial lab, photogrammetry lab, course staff station established in collaboration with UNEPCO, high processing computer lab in the Kathmandu University, and we have workshop lab, computer lab, and elective lab, science lab, and video conferencing labs. And these are conducted in cooperation with all departments and schools. So you can see some of the activities from our geospatial lab, that is Heritage Information Archive of Kathmandu Metropolitan City, building impact assessment of Bhaktapur municipality, earthquake, building damage assessment using UAV for biomass estimation, and use of UAV in crop health monitoring. So we have international collaboration with University of Twente ITC, Netherlands, Yildiz Technical University, Turkey, University of Melbourne, University of Southern Queensland. We are planning for the collaborations, and University of Salzburg, University of Saskatchewan. We are trying for the collaboration, and we are trying to start the PhD with this university, and our own faculty has already applied for this, but will be start soon. And similarly, we have collaboration with Chinese university, and we have collaboration with UNEPCO. So if you see the career process, if you see the our alumni working, they are working on government and non-government organization. They are working on geospatial industries, research and development. They are involving on academics, and they are also working in financial institutions, NGO, INGO, hydropower companies, Nepal Police, Nepal Army, and they are also working in contracting and consulting companies. So we have planned to expand our graduate programs. We are planning to start MS by research. We are planning to establish cartography lab in our department. And as our fourth year, Geomatics program has internship in their curriculum. We are planning to strengthen the academia community relationship. We are exploring new research projects, and we are conducting national and international workshops and looking for the collaboration. And similarly, we are planning to establish a relationship collaboration with academic and industry. So if we can do that, we have more opportunities. That Department of Geomatics Engineering has more opportunities, that this can be a highly demanded program in the federal structure of the country. And we can lead as geoinformation knowledge/data hub in the country. We can become center of excellence in surveying and mapping, land management and geoinformation sector. And we can contribute to the national and sustainable development. Sukhi Nepali, Samriddha Nepal, Sukhi Nepali, र दिगो लक्ष्यको विकासहरू चाहिँ हामी गेन गर्न सक्छौं, अचिभ गर्न सक्छौं, and we can contribute to industrial revolution 4.2 because we are using emerging technologies. We are educating, we are doing our research by using frontier technologies. That means we can contribute to the industrial revolution stage 4. So thank you so much, and these are some pictures you can see that we are annually celebrating our GIS Day with Nepal Geomatics. So, and you can see here, we are also providing a token of honor to our G alumni who contributes for the country. Thank you so much. And I would like to thank you organizing team for your effort to organize the program in this COVID-19 pandemic situation. And I'm thankful to all the participants for your participation. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Subhash sir, for your contribution and valuable remarks. You hold 17 years of academic and professional experience in the field of geomatics. The number speaks for itself. Now, without any delay, I would like to invite my dearest friend, Mr. Yukesh Benjankar, who is also the Vice President of Geomatic Engineering Society, to present and introduce about the Geomatic Engineering Society. Yukesh Benjankar, over to you. Hello, Yukesh.
Hello.
Yes, you are audible, Yukesh. Please proceed.
Okay. Is my screen sharing?
Yes.
Okay. Namaste, everyone. Respected Head of Department, Associate Professor Dr. Subhash Kimire, sir. Dear alumni, faculty, teachers, seniors, juniors, and my beloved friends. I'm Yukesh Benjankar from Chassa Lalitpur. Currently, I'm studying Bachelor in Geomatics Engineering in Kathmandu University, representing a GS as a Vice President for 2020. It's a moment of great privilege and honor for me to extend a hearty welcome to you all today at this event of Career Counseling course on Geomatics. I'll be presenting you all in a short about GS, shortly what we have done and what we are doing in this pandemic. Okay, without any delay, I'd like to start my presentation. GS stands for Geomatics Engineering Society, and it is the pioneering society of South Asia, which was established in 2007 AD under the Department of Geomatics Engineering in Kathmandu University. GS' main aim is to accept and work for the individual growth of the students, which shall be beneficial, practical, and helpful as well. Meanwhile, GS also acts as a platform to develop the skills of students apart from the educational by focusing on activities like training, technical trainings, seminars, talk programs, and interaction with experts from related fields, sports activities, and many more. Okay, talking about the activities that GS had done so far, our annual event NEPGEON on 2019, working on the theme harvesting the knowledge of surveying and geospatial technology in Nepal, in which this program included major events like Mapathon, a treasure hunt, map literacy program, project demonstration, formal talks, drone demonstration, geospace magazine launching, games, and many more. It is also our utmost responsibility for all the geomaticians to celebrate this event annually, which we often call it as GIS Day, as this program reflects our central meaning of geomatics. Okay, these are some photos clicked at the time when our beloved seniors, juniors, and friends went for the map literacy program to enlighten school children that how important the map is, how it reflects the real world by abstract figure, and how you can enter into the field of maps if you ever wanted to be a mapper. These are some photos. This is the photo at the time of launching annual magazine Geospace Volume V by respected teachers and seniors. Besides annual event, we have done training workshop in basic ArcGIS training for second year students for depth knowledge in GIS, project documentation in certain platform prepared by the students, talk show where our respected teachers, alumni talk about the prospects of geomatics engineering and land maps and ownership program, physical competition like GCOP,
server and Python. Today he is connecting with us from Texas, US, and will be presenting on the geospatial program as your career. Visranji, please unmute yourself and proceed.
Thank you, Pragya. Thank you, everybody from GES. Thank you, respected teachers. my respected seniors, my friends, and all of my friends, brothers and sisters. एकदमै खुसी लागिरहेछ आज this to get this opportunity to talk to you guys. उत्तमले अघि भने जस्तै we wish we had these kind of opportunities when we were studying, you know. I think this will be valuable. I'm going to rattle for next 10 to 15 minutes, which you might find it boring, but I'll try not to. So what I'm going to talk to you guys about today is how you can start a career, a professional career in geospatial programming. Let's call it GIS programming. I'm Bisrant Adhikari. I graduated in 2012 from Kathmandu University. And if you want to reach me, there's my email address. And just to mention who I am and what do I do. So I am working as a geospatial developer at the Texas A&M Forest Service. So the Texas A&M Forest Service is a state agency responsible for anything related to wildfire citizen awareness across the state of Texas. So what am I doing here is I basically coordinate all the development works, like all the geospatial development that includes mobile applications, web applications, desktop scripts, and I'm responsible for handling the developer experience. So I develop core functionalities, like let's say if you want to have a buffer tool, let's say you are using some sort of tool for GIS, I'm responsible for developing all those core functionalities, and our fellow teammates can use that to integrate onto their applications. I'm also working here as a responsible person for handling all the disaster response, like hurricanes, tornadoes, using UAV technologies and machine learning. And my responsibilities include maintaining apps, including hybrid applications like your non-native mobile apps, augmented reality. So it's a mixed bag of everything. So GIS, IT, system administration, surveying, remote sensing, it's a mixed bag. The basic gist case in every tool that I write, everything that I develop has some sort of spatial functionality. So the common denominator is almost all of the things have a form of location. Could be anything, could be vague as a state, could be vague as a world or anything. So if you want to check it out, we have all the apps in a website called Texas Forest Info. It's called TEXAS, texasforestinfo.com. So let me start my actual presentation. So let me start with one fallacy. You all guys you're all joining from a team, like a Zoom platform, right? So everybody's familiar with some sort of computer interaction, basically a laptop or a desktop or a mobile phone. And you have seen and used apps, you have seen maps. So are you going to make maps for apps or apps for maps? So it's like a chicken and egg scenario. Which came first? It doesn't matter. So if you are seeing a dashboard where the map is the primary focus or data, so it does not matter. Just let's get this straight out of the way. It doesn't matter whether you put apps in maps or maps in apps. It's exactly the same thing. And next thing is, what is geospatial programming and why should you even care? If you have been using ArcMap once in your life, like if you are in GIS, you will probably use ArcMap, QGIS, some sort of GIS application. At some point, it won't work as you expected it to work. It's cool to build stuff because pushing buttons could only take you to a certain extent. Java, you need customization, Java, you need custom functionality. You will need to do some sort of scripting or programming. So don't feel intimidated by the term geospatial programming. I know it's vague, but the gist is you are telling the computer to do something. It could be as simple as printing a hello world in the screen, printing your name, adding two numbers, basing a simple calculator app. Okay, so the reason that you should care is industry is going towards customization. There are pre-built products that you can use to not have to do programming. I mean, there are tons of products that provide you with similar functionality without even need to you have to write a single line of code. But if you want to break that bubble, I think, and if you're interested in computers, geospatial programming could be a very rewarding thing in a long run. And it's a very desirable skill set to have in the case of a current geospatial market. So I'm going to briefly touch base on what are the platforms that you can target. You could do mobile. Let's say you want to develop an Android app, iOS app. Just let's take simple example as Google Maps or OSM Tracker. Somebody built those apps and you are not now using it. And somebody thought your location could be important. And the result is there because you are using it. So the potential is immense. You can target simple web applications, desktop application. Let's say you want to build an application that prints maps, just build a desktop application or just a Python script. Technology stack could be anything. One of the tips that I want to give you in the current geospatial industry, the most desirable skill to have is a Python coding skill, mostly because major GIS players like Esri and QGIS have been built around Python. So the support from the community is pretty good, but that doesn't limit you from exploring new things. Python is not the only one, and there are other things as well, like web technologies. So just realize what is this trend going towards and pick your technology stack. You don't have to be confined, but try to see which platform you want to go. Open source, enterprise, it's your choice. And then comes the licenses. We can get ArcGIS licenses. We might not be able to get those, and also consider open source technologies for that regard. Okay, so how do I get started? You guys are required to take basic programming courses. So that is your best bet. That is where you should start. I know nobody likes to write C or C++ code. I know nobody likes to write any programming script. Nobody likes Java programming, but trust me, if you even take like 15% of whatever your teachers taught you, it's a lot more easier and it will save you a year in your professional career. Then you don't have to learn those basic skills, because by the time you get out of your college, you will already have those skills. You know the basic syntax, you know the basic functionality. The thing is, you don't need to know the exact syntax. The thing is how to think like a programmer, how to deconstruct the problem. So try to develop a mindset of how, let's say if somebody gives you a problem, you need to think, oh, how am I going to break it down? Tulo program, like sano to grab an कसरी solve गर्ने भन्ने चिज चाहिँ learn that while you're in college, and that's going to save your professional career. YouTube videos, of course, Coursera, Udemy, and other things are always there. Most important thing is don't feel intimidated by the apps that others create. Folks like us or somebody else have been working in the industry for 5, 10, 15 years. And obviously their products will be a lot more polished. Oracle apps, they are not around us. So you have to start from somewhere. And if you start to look at the finished product, let's say if you're going to start, hey, I'm going to make Google Maps. You're never going to make Google Maps because there are at least 1,000 engineers working on that every single day. And it's been a cumulative efforts over the years, 10, 15 years. So start from something simple. This is another important concept. You want to do development or debugging? Ideally, in realistic expectation, it's more like 70% debugging and 30% actual writing code. In my typical day, on a good day, I write around 1,000 lines of code. But on a realistic expectation is I write 500 lines of code and review 500 lines of code and try to see where it's not working. When you go, other times you are still figuring out what is going on, what is wrong. So simple example is you start with, let's say you have 15 errors. Or you say, oh, I'm gonna fix it. Then you end up getting 57 errors. So at this point, it's very essential that you don't give up. Okay. Coming back to the important point of who hires a GIS developer, what is the scope? I'm going to briefly talk about the market scenario in the US. The important employers in the United States for GIS developers are city governments. We have hundreds of thousands of cities, and almost every city needs a GIS analyst or a GIS developer in some form. And then there comes universities, private companies, state agencies, or like Uttam, you can be an entrepreneur and you can be your own boss, right? So you don't have to rely on others, but this is a very desirable skill set to have. Even if somebody is looking for a GIS analyst, they'll put at the bottom saying, hey, Python skills are desirable. And if you don't know basic programming skills, it would be tough. I'm not saying be an expert, but have some basic understanding of how to think like a programmer. The next one is going to be, where is this industry going to? What are the skills that I need to learn to get a job when I graduate? We need to be aware of what's going on. We started with desktop, web, then come mobile, then come cloud, and edge computing. Most of the companies here are moving towards cloud computing, towards Azure, Amazon Web Services, and Google Cloud, machine learning, and augmented reality. Although those things are cool and it's nice to have those skills, but the actual industry implementation haven't gotten out of the bubble outside of the research academia. Actual industries are not using machine learning and feature extraction or artificial intelligence as much. But if you know the basic concept, it will be really helpful. And another important skill to have is drones or UAS surveying. So what have I learned over all these years is take criticisms in a positive manner. If somebody comments you on something, take it in a positive manner. Don't hesitate to ask. And for the programming, don't start with a framework. Let's say you want to learn Angular, don't learn Angular right now. Learn basic JavaScript first. You want to learn Django or Flask, learn Python first, because that's going to give you the basic understanding of how the whole functionality would work. And having something visual, like just don't write Python code, use something like Jupyter Notebook or Python GUI. That way you can see and you won't feel as frustrated as you are right now, or you might be. And the things that you need to do to step is start with the projects, like Uttam said. Look for internships. That's going to help you a lot. There are lots of companies that will even take you as a volunteer. You don't need to get paid for your internship. Look for open source projects in GitHub. Look for volunteer opportunities like GIS Corps, and build your profile. Like Uttam said, I'm going to resonate the same thing. Build your profile. If you know how to do things, write it down, publish it somewhere. Let's say you want to know, you made a tool on ArcMap. Write about it, publish it to a bunch of mediums like medium.com or something like that, and explore beyond traditional GIS domain. GIS programming is just a tool in your pocket, so use it to do something else. So with that said, thank you for your attention and your privilege of your time. If you want to see some of the work that I'm doing, you can check out my GitHub profile, and if you want to connect, There are my email and LinkedIn profile. And thank you.
Thank you, Bishrant sir, for your informative presentation and tips about how to think like a programmer. There is a little change in program schedule as our speakers are from different corners of the world. So for their ease, we have modified our schedule. So now I would like to invite our third speaker for today, who is Mr. Sital Dhakal, who is connected from California. Also, you can put forward your queries in the chat box. After this presentation, we'll be having question and answer round. Talking about our Sital Dhakal sir, he is a certified geographic information system consultant with extensive experience in A-Series, enterprise ArcGIS tech, and product architecture. He has been certified by reputed names in GIS RS community, including NASA, Google, A-Series, and URISA. Today, he is going to present on title Geomatics as a system of record and engagement. I would like to request Sital ji to share the slide and present. Over to you, Sital sir.
Thank you, Pragya Boini. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Thumbs up?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you, Bishrant. Thank you, Subhash sir, Department of Civil and Geomatics. Thank you, GES, Ravi Bhai, Pragya Boini. Very excited to be here and present some of my experiences with you all. A little bit about myself. I work in a local government here in California. I work in academics, and then I went into research, worked in private industry, and now I'm more engaged with local government. In all these years, I've been in GIS technology in one way or another, and that's what I'll be talking about in the presentation. But let's talk about what geomatics is, what GIS is. मैले सुरुमा केयुमा जियोमेटिक्स सुरु गर्दाखेरि एकदमै हाम्रोमा कन्फ्युजन थियो. Sarad bro can talk about it, Bishrant can talk about it. We weren't really sure about what GIS really is, what geomatics really is, right? अनि अब यो मीममा देखेको जस्तै हामीले यो खाले मीमहरु प्राय सबैले देखिरहेकै हुन्छौं. कसैले अब जियोमेटिक्समा म्याप बनाउने पेशा हो भन्थे हैन, कसैले चाहिँ अब जियोमेटिक्स प्रोफेसनल आर गोइङ आउट एन्ड दे वुड बी डुइङ सर्वेइङ ओन्ली भन्थे. अब रिमोट सेन्सिङ अर्को एउटा पार्ट थियो, म्याप मेकिङ अभियसली अर्को एउटा पार्ट थियो. तर वास्तवमा अब म चाहिँ पनि अब बुझ्दै छु हैन जियोमेटिक्स के हो. अब almost 10 years into the career, I'm still learning what geomatics is. But because I have chosen GIS as my career, I think I'm more clear on what GIS is and how you can use this and what the profession really entails. त्यसैले म whole GIS को एउटा सानो पार्टको बारेमा आज बोल्न गइरहेको छु. उत्तमले विश्रान्तले मजाले क्लियर गरिसकेका छन् हैन, के स्टेप्सहरु लिनुपर्छ प्रोफेसनल करियरको लागि, र म ती चीजहरु दोहोर्याउन गइरहेको छैन. म चाहिँ एउटा सानो एउटा पार्ट को बारेमा बोल्न गइरहेको छु. र सबैले थाहा भएकै कुरो हो, geomatics can lead you into so many different paths, can lead you into remote sensing, surveying, geodesy, map making. But because I have chosen GIS as my career, I'll be talking about GIS. अब GIS मा पनि यो enterprise GIS भन्ने कुरो चाहिँ नयाँ इभल्भ हुँदै गइरहेको कुरो हो, र I wish while I was in Kathmandu University I knew more about it. So I'm sharing the knowledge here just because I think this is something that we talk less about while in the university, and as we graduate and as we proceed in our GIS career, you hear a lot about enterprise GIS, and I think this is where the industry is going. त्यसैले यसको बारेमा चाहिँ म अलिकति भन्न गइरहेको छु. अब नेपालमा मैले जियोमेटिक्स पढ्दाखेरि, हामीले जियोमेटिक्स पढ्दाखेरि, GIS पढ्दाखेरि चाहिँ कस्तो थियो भने, GIS person in an organization is that one guy or girl who makes map and stays in the corner creates map, product, and distribute it to people in paper format. त्यस्तो खाले थियो किनभने हामीले आर्ट म्याप चलाएको थियौं आर्ट म्यापमा म्याप बनाउँथ्यौं अनि पीडीएफ बनाएर शेयर गर्थ्यौं वेब जीआईएस पनि त्यतिसम्म टेक अफ भइसकेको थिएन तर now what's happening is more and more organizations are realizing the potential of GIS so that one person who used to make map sitting in a corner is now becoming a department र अब मेरै कुरो गर्दाखेरि म चाहिँ अहिले एउटा लोकल गभर्नमेन्ट भले हो भन्ने लोकल गभर्नमेन्टमा काम गर्छु जहाँ चाहिँ म जीआईएस डिपार्टमेन्ट हेर्छु द सिटी लाइज इन सान फ्रान्सिस्को बे एरिया इन क्यालिफोर्निया अब मेरो अहिलेको कामको कुरो गर्दाखेरि आई सपोर्ट almost 300 to 400 people every single day so any changes that I make in the map and special product almost 400 people instantly see those products see those changes every single day and those are only the internal staff right if you look at the public almost I engage with 100,000 public in any given project so special product अबको GIS प्रोफेसनलहरुले चाहिँ जुन स्पेशल प्रोडक्टहरु बनाइन्छ त्यसको चाहिँ एकदम फार फेस्ट असर हुनेवाला छ हैन किनभने more people are getting into GIS more people are learning about GIS अब कोभिड को सिचुएसन नै कुरो गर्ने हो भने त्यो सबैले देखेकै हुनुपर्छ जोन हपकिन्स को म्याप जुन चाहिँ millions and billions of views हुन्छ every single day and people are understanding what GIS really is but in an organization enterprise GIS what it is in the crux of it and the center of enterprise GIS is server technology so a team someone or a team creates a special product and that special product gets distributed among your internal staff your external collaborators your public so it's no more only one software and one guy creating product but it's a group of people or all the people in an organization coming together and creating a special product and also collaborating with it and using those special information त्यसले गर्दाखेरि अब टेक्नोलोजीको कुरो गर्ने हो भने एन्टरप्राइज जीआईएस मा चाहिँ सर्भर टेक्नोलोजी एकदमै बढी युज हुन्छ त्यसपछि अब त्यसमा स्क्रिप्टिङ हुन सक्छ प्रोग्रामिङ हुन सक्छ जुन विश्रान्तले भनिसके so there are so many other technologies that we might not learn while in university but keep your eyes open try to understand about it and if you were to pursue enterprise GIS as your career अब कुरा गरौँ system of record that's what I wanted to talk about today GIS was traditionally a system of record it still is हैन system of record हुनको लागि के हुनु पर्यो भने GIS ले चाहिँ authentic informationहरु राख्नु पर्यो अब यो नेपालमा त्यति धेरै पिकअप लिइसकेको छैन तर अब ग्लोबली यसको कुरो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ let's think about a city हैन let's think about a city and let's think about all the facilities that a city provides what are the facilities that a city provides water हुन सक्छ हैन पानी दिन्छ सुवर दिन्छ पुलिस डिपार्टमेन्ट हुन्छ फायर हुन्छ पार्क्स हुन्छ यो सबै डिपार्टमेन्टहरुको डेटा चाहिँ राख्ने ठाउँ अब जीआईएस भइरहेको छ धेरै भन्दा धेरै पहिला अब पेपरमा राखिन्थ्यो भने अब चाहिँ जीआईएस मा राखिन्छ त्यसले गर्दाखेरि हरेक सरकारी संस्था मा तपाईहरुले फोन गर्नुभयो भने र सोध्नु भयो भने यो मेरो पानीमा आज ढलको प्रब्लम भयो अब यो ढल अथवा मेरो घरमा पानी आइरहेको छैन मेरो घरमा बिजुली आएन हैन यो सबै इन्फर्मेसन उनीहरुले कहाँ गएर हेर्छन् भन्दाखेरि जीआईएस मा गएर हेर्छन् किनभने जीआईएस has become that one tool where all the information resides and it's the authentic tool त्यसले गर्दाखेरि this is a system of record अब यहाँ मैले एउटा एक्जाम्पल दिएको छु यो चाहिँ एउटा शहरमा वाटर डिस्ट्रिब्युसनको एक्जाम्पल हो र यसमा प्रत्येक शहरको प्रत्येक valve प्रत्येक फायर हाइड्रेन्ट प्रत्येक वाटर मिटरहरु म्याप गरिएको छ र this is where all the cities it doesn't even have to be smart city हैन all the cities and all the government are moving to र अब आफैले पनि के सोच्न सकिन्छ भने यदि यो सबै इन्फर्मेसनहरुलाई जीआईएस मा राख्ने हो भने कसले गर्ने त त्यो भन्दा चाहिँ it's gonna be on our soldiers in your soldiers people who want to pursue GIS as their career in future are going to do this so यसको यसले नै के पुष्टि गर्छ भने यो करियर चाहिँ झन्झन बढिरहेको छ र it's only a matter of time बिस्तारै यो नेपालमा पनि सुरु भइसकेको छ बिस्तारै नेपालमा पनि यी सबै इन्फर्मेसनहरु हामीले जीआईएस मा राख्न थालिसकेपछि there will be an explosion in GIS career. Next I want to talk about engagement. So once you have all this information in GIS, what's the next step? The next logical step is to use those information as a system of engagement. So पब्लिकहरुसँग इन्गेज गर्नलाई हैन र आफ्नै इन्टरनल स्टाफहरुले पनि त्यो इन्फर्मेसन जुन GIS मा अलरेडी छ ती इन्फर्मेसनहरुसँग इन्टरेक्ट गर्नको लागि चाहिँ GIS becomes the platform for engagement. त्यो जुन अघि मैले कुरो गरे कोभिड ड्याशबोर्डको कुरो that was a platform of engagement. त्यसमा डेटा मात्रै स्टोर भएको थिएन हैन त्यो स्मार्ट डेटालाई चाहिँ कसरी पब्लिकसँग कम्युनिकेट गर्न सकिन्छ भनेर पनि त्यो ड्याशबोर्डमा राखिएको थियो. So GIS is evolving as a system of engagement. And this is where the future lies. त्यसैले हामीले सोच्दाखेरि yes, survey is good. सर्वेले इन्फर्मेसनहरु दिन्छ त्यो सबै इन्फर्मेसनहरुलाई हामीले GIS मा राख्छौं र त्यसभन्दा पनि पर के हुन्छ भने ती इन्फर्मेसनहरुलाई हामीले पब्लिकसँग कम्युनिकेट गर्न सक्नुपर्छ र जति जति हामी पब्लिकसँग त्यो इन्फर्मेसनहरु कम्युनिकेट गर्छौं त्यति त्यति GIS को स्कोप बढ्छ. त्यसले गर्दाखेरि this is something that you might want to think about as you pursue your career in GIS. मैले slide धेरै राखेको छैन because I wanted to have this as a open platform, open communication. I just have few website that I really wanted to share with you guys, just to communicate how GIS is evolving, especially in North America, in Europe, but also all around the world. So really quickly, मैले काम गर्ने डिपार्टमेन्टको यो एउटा वेबसाइट हो. This is how I engage with my public, with my staff. It has a variety of GIS data, GIS resource for people to engage with, to look at. So I just wanted to share with you, like, this is where I publish my data for people to download those data, and for GIS developer like Vishrant to play with those data and create some noble product out of it. But let's look at a public safety map that we recently published.
So, I think you are not sharing your screen. Your PowerPoint is in view. So
oh, really?
Share
okay.
Different.
Thank you. Is this better? Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, no, I just went through, like, sharing my departmental website, and I just wanted to take you guys through all the products that we published, to not only as a system of record, but also as an engagement product with the public. And this was the second website that I was sharing. This is built on Esri technology, and what we are doing here is we are publishing our data, our map with public, so that they can consume those data and create applications out of it. अब यो एउटा पब्लिक सेफ्टीको एप्लिकेसन हो जुनमा चाहिँ अब यो भाइ बहिनीहरुले गरिरहेकै हो नेपालमा पनि, जुनमा चाहिँ अब maybe you are mapping fire, maybe you are mapping traffic, real-time traffic, maybe you are mapping things like emergency schools and shelters and bridges and fire stations. So this is one of the ways how you can engage with public, because let's face it, emergency can come at any time. So if you have all this product in your fingertip, you can always utilize them. Your staff and your public can utilize those information as well. मैले अघि नै शेयर गरेको एक्जाम्पल जस्तै यो एउटा अर्को एक्जाम्पल थियो जुनमा चाहिँ maybe the site is not loading, but यहाँ चाहिँ यो सिटीले प्रत्येक आफ्नो वाटर सुवर इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरहरु चाहिँ म्याप गरेर राखेको छ, so that if there's any phone call, if there's any problem with the infrastructure, people can consume those information, look into the website and get all those relevant information. Lastly, दुईटा चीज म यहाँ शेयर गर्न गइरहेको छु. यो चाहिँ अब maybe it's already in the news, हैन? Like the west coast of America is having tremendous it's a fire season here. त्यसले गर्दाखेरि यो सबै म्यापहरु जुन तपाईहरुले देखिरहनु भएको छ यो सबै आगोहरु अहिले लागिरहेको छ, हैन? The current fire going on in California. So this is a kind of data that we create. But just by making this map, just by creating data product is not going to do any good. So you have to use this system of record and use it as a system of engagement where you create dashboard like this. But your dashboard ma chahi, we create information about fire and wind and COVID and earthquake. र यो यस्तो खाले प्रोडक्टहरु बनाएपछि चाहिँ people get really interested in GIS. र यस्तो खाले प्रोडक्टहरु अब तपाईले हेर्नुभयो भने झन् बढी बनिरहेको छ र that really proves where the industry is going. And if you are really interested in GIS, you can think as this as you working and creating cool products like this in the future. So with that, I just want to end my presentation. And Ravi, if we can take question now, I'll be happy to answer.
Okay, Sital, thank you. Thank you, Sital sir, for your informative presentation and various information regarding GES. And among the participant list, we have also seen our assistant professor, Dr. Resma Shrestha from our Department of Geomatic Engineering. Thank you for accepting our invitation. Now moving forward, we would like to have question and answer session, as 3 of our 6 keynote speakers have already presented. So if you have any queries, feel free to drop your queries in the chat box or unmute yourself and ask for your queries to our speaker. And in the chat box, I have seen queries from Pradeep Upadhyay, and he have asked that, since I, along with many of my classmates, want to pursue master degree from a proper foreign university, so what should we do from now that we won't be having problem and we finally graduate out of Kathmandu University? So Sital sir,
You want to take that question first?
Yeah, sure. So the first step for you guys is to start preparing for your graduate level GRE examination, TOEFL examination. So those are the basic requirements for anybody who is not a native English speaker. You need to have that first. And what I would suggest you guys to do is look into the universities that you think. There are several lists prepared by folks. You can search for GIS Masters ranking and go into their websites and look into the faculty profile. And look into the faculty profile and see what kind of research are being done there and if they're accepting new students. Because it's very important for you guys, for an international student, to get a funding in some sort to be able to pursue a master's here. So look for a professor who is accepting a student and your research match. Then it's a matter of emailing them. So you won't get a reply, so you'll have to try harder. So try emailing them, try to reach out to them and see, hey, I'm doing this kind of stuff, I'm interested in doing research with you, and take it from there. So that would be your first step. Prepare it for your GRE and TOEFL examination, and also contact your professor at the same time.
Right. On this one, I don't have much to add. I just want to reinforce that emailing professor is really important, especially if you want to get a scholarship. अब देश अनुसार थुप्रै खाले स्कलरसिप हुन्छ युरोपमा अब ड्याडहरू भन्ने खाले स्कलरसिप हुन्छ जुन चाहिँ डिफाइन्ड हुन्छ र उनीहरूले सर्टन नम्बर अफ स्टुडेन्ट्सहरू चाहिँ इच इयर इनरोल गरिरहेको हुन्छ नर्थ अमेरिकामा चाहिँ फन्डिङ चाहिँ प्रोफेसरको हातमा हुन्छ त्यसले गर्दाखेरि इफ यु are in touch with the right kind of professor, they can sponsor 100%. मैले सुरुमा मास्टर्स गर्न आउँदाखेरि पनि मेरो लक्ष्य नै त्यही थियो. I'm not gonna pay a single penny. र त्यसको लागि चाहिँ के गर्थेँ भने म 10-15 जना प्रोफेसरहरूलाई each day इमेल गर्थेँ, talking about my expertise, talking about my interest. र अब 40-50 जनालाई इमेल गर्दाखेरि 1-2 जनाको रिप्लाई आउँछ. That's gonna happen. So don't lose hope. Start communicating with professor, with alumni, with people who are already studying, and build your portfolio. I think that's going to help tremendously.
Okay,
thank you, sir.
Okay, program proceed.
We have another question. I think this is for Sital sir. Is this map prepared from Python folio model? I think it is for Sital sir.
So, well, a ton of module has been used to create those applications that I showed you. It's mostly Esri. Some of the applications that I showed you were developed by like State of California and other organizations that I'm not involved with. But yeah, like Python is a part, and JavaScript has played a bigger role. But a ton of technology has gone into creating those applications.
Okay, and one of our participants, Vinod Bhatta, want to ask question. Vinod Bhatta, please unmute yourself and please ask question, indicating the speaker.
हजुर नमस्ते सबैजनालाई मेरो क्वेसन चाहिँ के छ भन्देखि यो पाइथन चाहिँ प्रोग्रामिङ चाहिँ हामीले सिक्नुपर्ने नै छ हैन, सिक्नु पनि पर्छ। अनि यो चाहिँ के छ भनेदेखि जस्तो मलाई चाहिँ पर्सनली पाइथन चाहिँ एकदमै सिक्न मन लागिरहेको छ हैन। म चाहिँ अहिले फर्स्ट इयरमा छु र मैले मेरो फर्स्ट इयरको फर्स्ट सेममा सी सिकेर अहिले चाहिँ C++ हाम्रो पढाइ भइरहेछ र त्यसको सँगसँगै चाहिँ अहिले मलाई चाहिँ पाइथन चाहिँ एउटा ब्याकग्राउन्डमा त्यो चाहिँ सिक्न मन लागिरहेछ। अनि यो के भइरहेछ भनेदेखि अब यो ब्याचलरको चाहिँ हाम्रो 7th सेममा मात्र छ यो पाइथन चाहिँ हैन, त्योभन्दा अगाडि चाहिँ पढाइ पनि हुँदैन। अनि यो चाहिँ अहिलेदेखि सिक्ने बेलामा चाहिँ कतिखेर यो 5-6 दिन चाहिँ गर्न मन लाग्ने हैन, त्यसपछि चाहिँ फेरि एकदम त्यो अलिकति कस्तो अर्को टाइपको भएर त्यो चाहिँ छोडिने भइरहेछ के। अनि त्यो चाहिँ किन भइरह होला हैन। अब यो चाहिँ जस्तो 5-6 दिन चाहिँ गर्न मन लाग्छ, एकदम जोस जागर आउँछ हैन, त्यसपछि चाहिँ फेरि त्यो 5-6 दिनपछि त्यो एनर्जी आफै हराउँछ के। त्यो चाहिँ लाइक त्यो के भइरह होला त्यसको लागि अलिकति मोटिभेट गरिदिनु भएर अनि त्यो सिक्नको लागि चाहिँ हजुरहरूले त्यो कसरी एड गर्न सक्नुहुन्थ्यो होला, त्यसमा चाहिँ हामीलाई कसरी के मोटिभेसन र सँगसँगै के चाहिँ सल्लाह सुझाव दिन सक्नुहुन्छ, म त्यो चाहिँ हजुरहरूलाई एउटा रिक्वेस्ट गर्न चाहन्छु। Thank you.
I'll let Vishrant answer that.
Yeah, Vishrant, the best person.
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing, C++ किन पढाइ हुन्छ भन्ने म रिजन किन मलाई पनि I didn't like C++ है. C++ is low level language. एकदमै बेसिक मेसिन लेभलमा गएर काम गर्छ. You need to know that. है. C++ गाह्रो छ पाइथन भन्दा किन भन्दा C++ मा 10 लाइन लेख्नुपर्छ भने पाइथनमा 1 लाइन लेख्दा हुन्छ. हैन? सिम्पल कम्प्लेक्सिटीको लेभल फरक छ. अर्को कुरा कसरी मोटिभेटेड रहने भन्ने कुरा प्रोग्रामिङमा यो this is the problem with everybody, है? Even with us, like we've been working in Illustrator for like 8, 9, 10 years. Same problem happens. This is called tutorial loophole. Like if you follow a tutorial, there is the tutorial may fasiरहेन्छ. What I would suggest you to do is try to think of a problem, any problem, and try to solve that problem using your skills. So सबै सर्च गरेर भ्याइदैन. जस्तै let's say Python book लिनुभयो एउटा Python book लिँदै जाँदा पढ्दै जानुभयो, लिस्ट आयो, टुपल आयो, डिक्सनरी आयो, म्याप आयो, सेट आयो, अब दिमाग ह्याङ भइसक्यो त्यो बेलासम्म. त्यसपछि नेक्स्टमा जान मन लाग्दैन. मेरो स्ट्र्याटेजी भनेको चाहिँ एउटा प्रब्लम लिनुस्. तपाईलाई let's say एउटा सीको चाहिँ वेस्ट वाटर सिस्टम बनाउन छ या म्याप प्रिन्ट गर्नु छ. अब त्यो म्याप प्रिन्ट गर्नलाई चाहिँ मलाई के सिक्नु पर्छ, हो त्यहाँबाट सिक्दै जानुस् कि. त्यो जे चाहिन्छ त्यो सिक्दै गयो भने चाहिँ इन्ट्रेस्टिङ हुन्छ, इन्गेजिङ हुन्छ, अनि प्रब्लमहरु पनि मोर फोकस्ड हुन्छ. थ्योरी चाहिन्छ तर थ्योरीमा विदाउट कोर्स थ्योरीमा जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ ल्याक अफ मोटिभेसन हुन सक्छ. अब यसको लागि रिसोर्सेसहरु युट्युब ट्युटोरियल्सहरु पनि छ, तर ट्युटोरियल लूप होल जुनमा चाहिँ ट्युटोरियल हेल भन्छ एक्ज्याक्टली यहाँ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो ट्युटोरियल हेलमा चाहिँ नफस्नु होला. Watch it to keep you entertained and keep you on track. So use that and do something else. There were lamo project knowledge. Sano tasks. Let's say every GIS, kuma hello world print garchu ma. त्यसपछि चाहिँ म एउटा बटन थिच्छु, बटन थिचेपछि एक्सेल फाइल बनाउँछु. त्यति सानो प्रब्लम लिनुस्, त्यसपछि त्यसमा गर्नुस्. It's okay to take a break, hey. You don't have to feel exhausted after the end of every programming day. Try to solve a problem rather than going through tutorial.
Right. यसमा चाहिँ म के थप्न चाहन्छु भने programming is very important, हैन? But there are so many other career paths. Say you tried your level best and you figured that maybe programming is not for you, then that's fine. There are so many other career choices that you can go on. Programming भयो भने चाहिँ हरेक career state मा राम्रो हुन्छ. You can be a better remote sensing expert if you knew programming. Maybe you can be a better LAN administrator if you knew programming. But if you think you are not born as a developer and if you can't really excel as a developer, feel free to explore other career path. र त्यो सँगसँगै अहिलेको मास्टर्सकै कुरोमा पनि विदेशै आउनुपर्छ भन्ने छैन हैन. एउटा अब मेरो 10 वर्ष 8 वर्ष 10 वर्ष पछिको एक्सपिरियन्स चाहिँ मेरो के हो भने विदेशमा राम्रो एजुकेसन छ, but we are catching up in Nepal. सुभाष सरकै कुरा गर्दाखेरि सुभाष सर has put in so much effort, हैन, so much blood and sweat into the program. अब यस्तो खाली राम्रो मास्टर्स प्रोग्राम, PhD प्रोग्राम, नयाँ करियर चोइसेसहरु नेपालमै हुन्छ. उत्तम is a very good example. त्यसले गर्दाखेरि if you want to explore the world and see what other universities have to offer, yes, definitely go for it, try for it, but it has its own sets of struggle, हैन. त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ if you are in Nepal, if you are not a programmer, if you want to find a new career path, feel free to do it. त्यसले गर्दाखेरि एउटा मात्रै कुनै एउटा फर्मुला छैन सक्सेसको. आफुलाई it really depends on what kind of person you are, what keeps you motivated, and what career choice you want to pursue.
And let me add more to it. यो चाहिँ कस्तो भने पहिला चाहिँ अब जियोमेटिक्स भन्ने बित्तिकै सर्भिङ मात्र पढ्नुपर्ने या फोटोग्रामेट्री पढ्नुपर्ने भन्थ्यो, तर नाउ थिङ्स आर चेन्जिङ. वी क्यान रिलेट एभ्रिथिङ टु अदर फिल्ड्स टु. त्यही भएर एकदम सानो न्यारो मात्र हुनु पर्दैन, द वाज गोइङ बिगर इन आवर सेक्टर, इन आवर डोमेन. त्यसैले चाहिँ फेरि फोटोग्रामेट्री, रिमोट सेन्सिङ, जीआइएस मात्रमा पनि फोकस नगर्दा नि हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ. यु क्यान सर्च फर भेरियस टपिक्स, भेरियस युनिभर्सिटिज, एन्ड यु क्यान गो फर इट जस्तो लाग्छ.
Thank you, sir. It was really motivating. Now we have next question from Vishal Khatri. What is the scholarship criteria for masters in foreign universities?
Okay, let me answer it again. Since I am DAD ambassador for Nepal, the first thing is, सबभन्दा पहिला तपाईहरुले चाहिँ के खोज्नु पर्यो भने तपाई के पढ्ने, उत्तमले जुन भन्नुभयो नि, what is your future, तपाई कहाँ जाने भन्ने आफूले पहिला फिक्स गर्नुस्. If you are going for remote sensing or GIS or let's say programming based program or geodesy, कहाँ जाने हो, you need to find a university first, the class or भन्दा तपाईले तपाईको जुन स्कोप छ तपाईले देख्नुभएको त्यहाँ पहिला फोकस गर्नुस्. After you find the course, you just can write to the professor about a concept of Sitale भने जस्तै लेख्दा हुन्छ, and you need to prepare for the necessary things like IELTS हो कि या TOEFL हो कि GRE हो कि तयारी गर्ने, and you can search for the scholarship after you get in touch with the universities. त्यसरी सुरु गर्दा ठीक हुन्छ. सबभन्दा पहिला कहाँ जाने भन्ने कुरा फिक्स गर्नुस्, के पढ्ने भन्ने कुरा फिक्स गर्नुस्. फेरि हाम्रो बानी के छ भने सबै सर्च गर्ने, सबैमा चाहिँ सिभी र एप्लिकेसन थ्रो गर्ने, जहाँबाट आउँछ ती पढ्ने पनि छ हैन. इट डिपेन्ड्स अन यु. अब एउटैमा चाहिँ बरु 5 वर्ष कुर्छु त्यही विषय पढ्छु छ भने जस्ट बी फोकस्ड अबाउट इट. त्यसको क्राइटेरिया के छ त्यो मिट गर्नुस्, and you will get admission, and parallel you can find scholarships that can support your education over there.
Okay, thank you, Sarath sir. Now I have seen one more question. I want to ask this question to the Uttam sir. One of our participants, Yukesh Benjankar, I have asked that how can we start off for opening our own geometric service provider? At what time it will be suitable, after bachelor degree or master degree or any further degrees, since startup may arise risk issue. So Uttam Dai, can you answer it?
हेलो रवि, यहाँ सुनिरहेको छ मेरो?
हजुर हजुर सुनिरहेको छ.
युकेशले सोधेको क्वेसन मैले अघि एउटा स्लाइडमा पनि भनेको थिएँ नि, कम्पनी स्टार्ट गर्न मन छ भनेदेखि चाहिँ मेरो पर्सनल एक्सपिरियन्स र लर्निङको आधारमा भन्नुपर्दा चाहिँ कुर्नु पर्दैन. फाइनल पास आउट हुन्छु अनि त्यसपछि म टिम बनाएर खोल्छु भन्नु पर्दैन. तर एउटा प्रिपरेटरी वर्क चाहिँ अहिलेदेखि नै गर्दै जाने भनेको अघि नै दाइहरूले नि भन्नुभयो, मैले नि भनेको थिएँ, त्यो सानो सानो प्रोजेक्टहरू, सानो सानो पार्टिसिपेसनहरू, त्यो सबैलाई चाहिँ आफ्नो एज एउटा पोर्टफोलियो जस्तो बनाउँदै लाने र कम्पनी चाहिँ अहिले नै रजिस्टर गरिहाल्ने. किन भन्दा भोलि कम्पनी खोलिसकेपछिको एउटा सबैभन्दा बिग प्रब्लम नेपालमा अहिले के छ भन्दा कसरी काम ल्याउने भन्ने कुरा प्रब्लम हुन्छ नि त. अनि काम लिएर आउनको लागि एक्सपिरियन्स चाहिन्छ र भोलि पास आउट हुने बित्तिकै कम्पनी खोल्यो अनि एक्सपिरियन्स जिरो हुन्छ अनि 3-4 महिनामा मान्छे फ्रस्ट्रेट भएर हैन मैले त यो रङ डिसिजन लिएछु भनेर मान्छेले आफ्नो डिसिजन चेन्ज गर्छन्. त्यही भएर यदि कम्पनी खोल्ने मन छ भनेदेखि नम्बर 1 आफ्नो सानो सानो प्रोजेक्टहरूलाई एज अ पोर्टफोलियो बिल्ड गर्दै लैजाने र नम्बर 2 चाहिँ एउटा राइट टिम चाहिँ अहिलेदेखि नै चुज गरिरहने. भनेको सबैलाई सेयर होल्डर नै बनाउनु पर्दैन, तर आफूलाई क्लासमा थाहा हुन्छ नि कोही मान्छे बोल्न एकदम फरवर्ड छ, यताउता छ भने उसलाई त्यही खालको मार्केटिङ रिलेटेड कुरामा इन्गेज गराउने. कोही मान्छे टेक्निकल्ली एकदमै राम्रो छ भने उसलाई पनि एउटा पार्ट अफ द टिम जस्तो बनाएर चाहिँ लिएर जाँदै गर्ने. त्यो भयो भने के हुन्छ भन्दा एउटा दायाँ बायाँ हेर्दाखेरि आफू मात्रै एक्लै पनि देखिँदैन, एउटा स्ट्रङ टिम जस्तो पनि हुन्छ र बाई द टाइम यु ग्रेजुएट आफूसँग अलरेडी एउटा 4-5 वटा सानो सानो पोर्टफोलियो पनि हुन्छ. र त्यसरी गर्यो भने चाहिँ मलाई लाग्छ अलिकति त्यो जुन डिमोरलाइज हुने अनि अलिकति फ्रस्ट्रेसन हुने चाहिँ अलिक कम हुन्छ होला.
now we have next question. We'll take only one question now, and we'll continue the question and answer session after all the presentations. This is from Sandesh Sharma. Sir, is Python really easy, or it's easier to write in Python?
Okay, I think I'll take that. Depends on how you define easy. Python, other language comparisonमा चाहिँ Python सजिलो छ. Easier to write. Does not perform as well है, किनकि C, C++ किन पढाइन्छ भन्ने रिजन फेरि आउँछु म. C, C++ फास्ट छ, एकदमै फास्ट रनिङ हुन्छ. इभन हामीले देखेको ArcGISहरू यिनीहरू सबै C++ मा लेखेका प्रोग्रामहरू हुन् यिनीहरू. अब यी हामीले किन पाइथन लेखिन्छ भने पाइथनले चाँडो रिजल्ट आउँछ भनेपछि पाइथन लेख्न पनि चाँडो छ, ठिकै मोरलेस युजेबल पर्फर्मेन्समा काम गर्छ. त्यही भएर अनि पाइथन पिकअप गर्न पनि सजिलो छ अरू ल्याङ्ग्वेजहरू भन्दा. तर एउटा पोइन्टमा पुगेपछि रेट अफ डिमिनिसिङ रिटर्न भन्छ. धेरै धेरै कम्प्लेक्सिटीमा गएपछि यसको कम्प्लेक्सिटी आफ्नो बोटलनेकहरू आउँछ. तर स्टार्टिङ करियरको लागि चाहिँ पाइथन अरू ल्याङ्ग्वेजेसहरू भन्दा सजिलो छ.
अनि त्यसमा मैले एउटा के एड गर्न खोजेको भने आजकल एपीआई पनि मजाले चलिरहेका हुन्छन् हैन. अब पाइथन आफू एउटा भनिला पाइथन त छँदैछ, त्यसमाथि चाहिँ आफ्नो लाइब्रेरिजहरू बनाएको हुन्छ, एपीआईजहरू बनाएको हुन्छ. एजरीको एक्जाम्पल लिने भने पनि एजरीले आफ्नै आर्कपाई प्याकेज छ, उसको एपीआई फर पाइथन भनेर छुट्टै छ हैन. त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ पाइथन आफूमा सिक्नु एउटा एक्सपिरियन्स हो. त्यसपछि एपीआईहरू चाहिँ अलिकति अब पिपल से इट्स मोर इजी. Really depends, like Bishan said. That might be another thing that you might want to look into. Vanilla Python garo lagyo bhane pani maybe APIs are you might find it more easy to take in. Look into that also. But yeah, it really depends. How do you define easy and how do you define difficult?
Okay, thank you Uttam sir, Sital sir, and Bishan sir for solving the queries of our participant. Now, if you have any other queries, please drop in the chat box and we will take the queries at last of the session. Now, moving forward, I would like to invite Mr. Sarat Chandra Mainali, who is the president at Nepal Geomatic Engineering Society,